Did you know that anxiety affects over 40 million adults in the US every year? That's nearly 1 in 5 people. Yet, most of them suffer in silence, never seeking help. Anxiety can show up in many ways: racing thoughts, tension, or even a racing heart. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to control your life. You might be surprised to learn that anxiety isn't just in your head, it's in your body too. Studies show that chronic anxiety can lead to heart disease, digestive issues, and even sleep problems. This isn't something you can just snap out of, but don't worry, you don't have to live with it forever. In this video, we're diving into how anxiety works, how it affects you, and most importantly, how you can start taking control. You'll discover surprising facts, practical tips, and simple mindfulness techniques to help you manage anxiety and start feeling better today. Ready to find out how to break free from the grip of anxiety? Let's get started. Chapter 1: The Silent Storm. Understanding anxiety's hidden powers. Anxiety is often a quiet force that builds up slowly, without us noticing until it's too late. It might start as a tightness in the chest or a sense of unease. For some, it may show up as racing thoughts or irritability. But many people don't realize that anxiety is more than just stress. It's a physical and emotional reaction that affects the whole body. Studies show that nearly 1 in 5 adults experience anxiety disorders every year. It's a massive issue, but often, it goes unnoticed or misunderstood. Anxiety can be triggered by many things: work pressure, relationships, or even small, everyday stresses. What's important to know is that anxiety isn't just a thought, it's a physical reaction. When your body feels anxious, your brain releases chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol. This is the same fight or flight response we've all heard about. But instead of helping you deal with immediate danger, anxiety often makes you feel stuck. And this is where mindfulness can help. Mindfulness brings awareness to your body's response. When anxiety hits, you can pause and notice the signs before they escalate. Deep breathing, for example, can help slow your heart rate and calm your mind. By being mindful of your body, you regain control over the storm inside. Chapter 2: Breaking the Chains. Why anxiety feels like a prison. Have you ever felt trapped by your own thoughts? Like an invisible chain is pulling you deeper into worry? This is how anxiety works. It keeps us in a loop of fear and uncertainty, feeding off our own emotions. The more we focus on the worry, the stronger it becomes. Psychologists refer to this as cognitive distortion, when our brains magnify the worst-case scenario. It's not just that you feel anxious, your mind convinces you that things are much worse than they are. Research by the Anxiety and Depression Association of America suggests that anxiety can change how we perceive reality. One powerful strategy to break free is called thought stopping. When you feel a worry creeping in, immediately say stop, either aloud or in your mind. Then, redirect your focus to something neutral or positive. This technique doesn't eliminate anxiety entirely but can weaken its grip. Another tactic is grounding yourself in the present. Anxiety often arises from thinking about the past or future, but mindfulness reminds us to stay here, in the now. A simple practice like the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise, where you name 5 things you see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste, can ground your mind. The goal is to reset your focus and take the power away from anxious thoughts. Chapter 3: The Power of Now. Bringing mindfulness to your anxiety. Mindfulness teaches us to focus on the present moment, which is exactly what you need when anxiety strikes. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to slip into worry about what might happen next. But staying in the present helps you control what's happening now. An interesting fact: research by Harvard University has shown that practicing mindfulness can actually change the brain. A study revealed that individuals who meditate regularly have thicker gray matter in areas of the brain that control emotional regulation. This means mindfulness can literally strengthen your ability to manage anxiety. One of the simplest mindfulness strategies is focused breathing. When anxiety strikes, take a deep breath in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. This type of deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps calm the body's fight or flight response. It's like hitting the reset button for your mind. Another technique is called body scan. This involves slowly paying attention to each part of your body, starting from your toes and working up to your head. As you do, notice any tension and release it with each breath. This can bring you back to the present and provide immediate relief from physical anxiety symptoms. Mindfulness doesn't require a long meditation session. Just a few minutes a day can help rewire your brain and change how you respond to stress. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to stay calm when anxiety hits. If you're finding these techniques helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more tips on managing anxiety and building mindfulness into your everyday life. Chapter 4: From Chaos to Calm, Taming Anxiety Through Self-Compassion. When anxiety hits, it's easy to be hard on yourself. You might think, why can't I just calm down? But the truth is, self-criticism only makes things worse. Anxiety thrives in a mind filled with judgment, shame, and frustration. So, what can you do? The answer is self-compassion. Research by Dr. Kristen Neff, a leading expert in self-compassion, shows that being kind to yourself can lower anxiety levels. In her studies, individuals who practiced self-compassion reported feeling less stressed and more in control. It's simple. Instead of berating yourself for feeling anxious, treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. A good strategy to cultivate self-compassion is the self-kindness mantra. When you feel anxiety creeping in, pause and tell yourself, it's okay to feel this way. I'm doing my best. This simple act can shift your mindset from one of harsh judgment to one of acceptance and care. Another way to practice self-compassion is by focusing on your body. When anxious, you may tense up or feel disconnected. Try doing a gentle self-hug or simply placing a hand on your heart. Studies show that gentle touch can release oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, which calms your nervous system. By embracing self-compassion, you stop anxiety from growing stronger. Instead, you create space for healing and peace. Being gentle with yourself isn't just nice, it's powerful. Chapter 5: Your Anxiety GPS. Using emotions to guide your mindfulness journey. What if you could use anxiety as a tool instead of an obstacle? Sounds strange, right? But emotions, including anxiety, are like a GPS for your mind. They point to deeper needs or unresolved feelings. Learning to read these emotions can be incredibly helpful for your mindfulness journey. Anxiety often signals that something isn't right, whether it's a situation, a relationship, or even a hidden fear. Instead of ignoring or fighting it, take a moment to pause and ask, what is this anxiety telling me? By reflecting on this, you can gain insight into what's really bothering you. The practice of emotional awareness is key here. Instead of labeling your emotions as good or bad, simply notice them. Studies have shown that identifying and labeling emotions helps reduce their intensity and gives you more control. So, if anxiety arises, instead of pushing it away, ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? One mindfulness strategy is to name the emotion and accept it without judgment. For example, I am feeling anxious right now, and that's okay. This act of acknowledgement can reduce the power of the emotion and help you move forward. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to use your emotions as guides on your mindfulness journey. Another powerful tool is journaling. Write down what you're feeling and why you think you might be anxious. Sometimes, just putting the feelings on paper can help you process them and discover what lies beneath the surface. Remember, anxiety doesn't have to be avoided. When you use it as a guide, it can lead you toward greater self-awareness and peace. Chapter 6: The Art of Letting Go, Releasing Control to Find Inner Peace. One of the most powerful ways to combat anxiety is through letting go. Anxiety thrives on control. It makes you feel like you need to manage every detail of your life. But here's the paradox: The more you try to control things, the more anxiety grows. The key to breaking this cycle? Surrender. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the need to control everything and accepting what you cannot change. A study from the University of California found that people who practiced mindfulness and acceptance techniques experienced lower levels of stress and anxiety. By letting go, you create room for peace. A great way to practice letting go is through the open hands technique. Imagine you're holding tightly to a worry in one hand. Then, slowly open your hand and release it. It's a visual reminder that holding onto anxiety only weighs you down. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to let go in real-life situations. Another mindfulness strategy for letting go is meditation. While you meditate, focus on the idea of releasing tension in thoughts as they arise. Instead of holding onto them, let them pass like clouds in the sky. This helps train your mind to accept impermanence and ease anxiety in daily life. Lastly, consider adopting a mindset of radical acceptance. This means fully accepting life as it comes, without resisting or wishing it were different. Dr. Tara Brach, a leading mindfulness teacher, calls this radical acceptance, and it's a game changer for anxiety. The more you practice acceptance, the less power anxiety has over you. By learning the art of letting go, you stop giving anxiety control. Instead, you embrace peace, trusting that not everything needs to be fixed or controlled in order for you to find calm. If you found these mindfulness tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on more strategies to manage anxiety and live a calmer life.